Hello, I'm John Manera. This video is part 4 of the video series on the design, construction, and testing of a fully automated or CNC rose ornamental lathe. In this video I'll be describing an electronic system which is used to control the system. All electronics that control the stepper motors are located in a separate electronics control box which is located underneath the main table. I'll also be describing this Nextion display panel which is used to control the operation of the system. These are all the electrical components that will be used for the automated rose ornamental lathe. All of these parts are available on Amazon. I started with the 4 Stepper Online NEMA 24 4 Newton meter closed loop stepper motors. When I previously made the automated Accu-Slice system, I used open loop stepper motors, but on occasion I perceived that it missed a step or two, which affected the accuracy of the system. The closed loop stepper motors do not lose steps, and they are therefore more accurate. That is why I chose to use these closed-loop stepper motors for this application. These closed-loop stepper motors require 2 separate cables. As a result, they are more difficult to install since they have 6 additional wires in the second cable, which must be accurately wired to the stepper motor controller. These closed-loop stepper motors are controlled by 4 model CL57T stepper motor controllers. The Arduino computer is used to program the system and to control the operation of the stepper motors. I'm using an Arduino Mega control board. The 7-inch Nextion touchscreen panel is used to enable the manual entry of data into the Arduino board and to control the various programs that will be used for this system. 2 24-volt power supplies are used to power the system. One of these is 15 amp and the second power supply is 20 amps. The 110-volt power is supplied to these power supplies via an on-off switch and a 10 amp fuse. We also have 2 5 amp power supplies. One of these is used to power the Arduino board, and the second is used to power the Nextion display. The system also contains 2 push buttons. One of these is a pause button, which enables a temporary pausing or stopping of any of the stepper motors during any operation. This is a nice feature to enable the operator to pause a process to correct a problem, and then restart the program from the same position to continue its operations. The second button is a reset or emergency stop button. This button immediately stops the program and resets the program back to the original starting position. Lastly, there's a cooling fan which will be installed on the side panel of the electronics case to permit the cooling of its components. One last feature are 4 Hall proximity sensor switches that I installed into the ends of linear rails. As of this date, I have not wired these switches to the Arduino board and have not written the software to control these switches. I'm not quite sure if they're required, but I will probably install them at some time in the future. And I've laid everything out on the main panel, which will go in the console shortly. And I just laid everything out because it's much easier to do the assembly on the desktop rather than do it on a cabinet underneath the system. But here's the main components. It consists of 2 power supplies. These are both 24-volt power supplies. One is 15 amps, the other is 20 amps. Next we have our Arduino computer board. I have 4 stepper motors, and I've allowed space to add a 5th. If I decide to add a 5th stepper motor in the future, I have room to put it on the board. But right now I just have 4 systems installed. So in addition to these 2 24-volt power supplies, I have 2 5-volt power supplies, one for the Nextion display and one for the Arduino system. And these LEDs are just for testing. These won't be part of the system. I just use these to test the program and make sure everything is working properly. So the next part of this assembly will be to take all these consoles, to mount it in the console box, hook up all the wiring. I have to put a fan in that box and put some plugs on the side for power off and on, and for the cables to go through the box. So there's quite a bit of work to do on the electronics console box. But I got most of the work done on this. This is all laid out, so this will be much easier. Just has to get put inside that box, and then we'll hook up everything inside the box. I drew up some PowerPoint slides to record some of the wiring for this system. This first slide is to hook up the main 110-volt power to the system. The power is initiated from a plug on the side panel on the case. The power then passes through an on-off switch and a 10 amp fuse, and then the power is connected to a terminal strip, which is then directed to the 2 24-volt power supplies. The next slide shows the hookup of the stepper motor controllers. 24 volts is supplied to the controllers from the 24-volt power supplies. The first stepper motor cable contains 4 wires that provides power to the stepper motor to control its operation. The wiring of these connectors is critical to assure the correct operation of the stepper motors. The second stepper motor cable contains 6 wires, which must be accurately wired to the stepper motor control board. These are the wires that prevent the missing of any steps and will assure that the stepper motor is accurately positioned. The 3 wires on the left are a connection to the Arduino board. The pulse minus and direction minus connections for each of these stepper motors is different, as indicated in the second chart. Stepper motor number 1 is for the spindle stepper motor. The switches on this stepper motor are adjusted to provide 6,400 steps per revolution for the stepper motor. The 6,400 steps per revolution is different for the spindle because there is a 4-to-1 gear reduction for the spindle, and as higher resolution is required for the spindle. The other 3 stepper motor controllers are programmed for 1,600 steps per revolution, as indicated in the chart. This final chart shows a hookup of the pause and reset buttons. These pause and reset buttons will be located on the Nextion display panel for easy and quick access. I finished mounting all the components into the main panel for the controller. I wrote the initial software to control the operation of the spindle motor as well as the X and Z axis stepper motors. I was therefore able to troubleshoot the electronics panel before it was installed into the controller case. The controller case to which this panel will be installed is under the main table for the automated rows machine. It will be more difficult to troubleshoot the electronics components in that location. It's just much easier to troubleshoot the system when everything is on the tabletop for easy access. After all the components have been wired up and everything was checked out, it's now time to move the panel with electronics installed to the electronics case under the main table. However, before I move the panel, I must disconnect all the wiring between the control panel, the stepper motors and controllers, the Nextion display, as well as the input power. I then inserted the panel with the electronics into the metal case, which I had attached to the table under the automated rows machine. I then secured it in place with 4 bolts. I then proceeded to rewire all the components. This again was a major challenge since the panel is located under the main table and the wiring of everything under the table was quite time consuming. In retrospect, I should have assembled the entire system in the case on the countertop and then installed the case under the table. I'm not showing the details of the wiring since I did not record these steps. However, whenever possible, I ran the wires inside the table I had constructed. So the wires such as the cables for the spindle stepper motor and the Nextion display panel wires were all contained within this main cabinet. I ran all the wires through holes that were punched into the right side of the cabinet, and when possible I used aviation connector plugs to make these connections. I shortened the wires when possible in an attempt to create a clean system without a bunch of loose wires running all over the place. I did install a cooling fan on the right side of the case. And here's the finished cabinet with everything installed. The final part of the electronics system is the Nextion 7-inch color display panel. This is the system that enables the communication with the Arduino program. From this touchscreen, the operator can enter parameters for the various cutting operations and initiate the various programs for cutting on both the face and sides of the round boards. I designed a case to contain a Nextion display panel using my Fusion 360 software, and then I used my 3D printer to print out the case. The screen design consists of a main program screen that lists all the programs that I've created. To date, I have written 17 subprograms to carry out the various cutting operations. I will be describing these programs in the next video in this series. I'm sure that there will be many changes to these software programs over the next year or 2. When I open up the case for the Nextion display, you can see 2 sets of wires. One set of wires provides the power and communication lines for the Nextion display. The other wires are for the pause and reset buttons. As I mentioned earlier, these 2 sets of wires are positioned inside the cabinet and exit out near the metal electronics cabinet before entering into the electronics console through 2 of the aviation plugs on the right side of the case. The pause and reset buttons are both safety devices for the system. The pause button is used when you want to temporarily stop a program to correct a problem and then restart the program to finish its operations. The reset button is actually a stop and restart button. When pressed, the program is stopped immediately and the system returns to the home screen with none of the subprograms activated or running. This button can be pressed when an emergency stop is required. This completes this video on the electronics console for the automated Rose ornamental lathe. All electronic components were installed in a metal console, which was placed underneath the system's table. In the next and final video in this series, I'll be describing the software that I developed to operate the Ornamental Rose ornamental lathe. Thank you once again for viewing this video. If you have any suggestions for further improvements of the system, please leave your comments below or send me an email. And thank you.